8-7 International live stream. Thank you all for tuning in, everybody who's here already. We're here to talk live reactions from the beautiful game of football that we've just finished watching. Greece scoring an absolutely amazing goal. Incredible work from the Greek national team attack there to get that goal. And then incredible work from Mavrias on defense to concede. So 1-1 is the final score. Greece with 2 points in 2 games in the group on the way to Qatar. It's not looking good, folks.
What way to Qatar? There's no way to Qatar. Hold on. I just need to jump in, take a victory lap. Oh my God! All the people telling us like JVS masterclass, masterclass in Spain. I just, oh my freaking God! Like, oh my God! It was hilarious. Anyway, that's it.
Got a couple comments rolling in already, folks. We've got Perry here. That was disgusting. This team has no business at a World Cup. Georgia should have won, and I'll take Kvaratskhelia for Olympiacos. That's true. Oh, yeah. Also, to be fair, the left back for Georgia was good too. I kept thinking his name was Kourbelis, but his name is actually like Gorbelitse. But he wasn't bad either, to be fair, at least going forward. Christo, we were lucky to draw Georgia today.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
No, Adi, please go. Please go.
I'm still in disbelief, guys. I'm just irritated. You know what I mean? I banged my head explaining to people that I don't agree with JVS tactics. I don't think he has correct tactics. And when I saw the lineup, I was happier than I've been in the past with some of the player choices. But here's the problem, okay? You're playing Fortounis and Solis on the wings, all right? Great. I was happy to see both of them play. They should be playing. Not going to talk about Solis' performance, but however, when you have 2 guys that are going to play inside, right? You're going to have overlapping wing play so that they can play as inside forwards. You have to have overlapping wing backs. Bakakis isn't an overlapping wing back. Mavrias overlaps more than Bakakis, but he's also not an overlapping wing back. So what the hell happens? You have your wingers going inside. They play inside, and then where's your width? It's gone. Forget about the fact that Bakakis and Mavrias just are bad. They're just mediocre players. And oh God, it took JVS, if we include the Nations League, over 600 minutes to realize Bakasetas is not the answer for the 10. Terrible. I am going to guarantee you when I see the stats tomorrow, he's going to have more back passes than forward passes again.
He had so many. He had some egregious ones as well.
Like, collecting the ball at midfield just to send it all the way back. What are you doing?
He like comes into Zeka's position. He's like, I need to handle this. Like, only I can make this pass. Zeka's like, bro, I could have fucking done that. Like, go back. And then like Vlachodimos just blasts it forward. And guess what? Nobody's there to get the ball in the final third because Bakasetas decided he wanted to be a defensive midfielder for 5 seconds.
It's bad, dude. I'll be honest with you. That game gave me a headache. It really did. It gave me, I have a splitting headache, like right here. I call this my JVS headache. You know what I mean? When he pulled Solis off, that was a good sub. Take him off. He was having a poor game. But then you put Limnio on. This guy has done nothing. He's not in form. He hasn't done anything. Looked awful against Spain. Looked awful against Honduras. That's who you put on? Are you kidding me? Here's the problem. JVS hasn't learned lessons fast enough. And some lessons he hasn't learned at all. So he's put himself in this situation. We've reaped what he sowed, what JVS has sowed. You know what? And you can I saw people blaming the players. Oh, this has been going on since 2014. And you know what? Maybe you can blame the players, their mentality. But it's his job as a coach to fix that. And this team doesn't have a winner's mentality. It doesn't.
Adi, who gives you more of a headache, JVS or Mihari crying at 4 a.m. waking you up?
JVS. Thinking about it is more of a headache than my son does.
Oh my God. I genuinely think Mihari Bulubasis would do a better job out there than Mihari Bakakis, by the way. Like him and Mavrias were like Dumb and Dumber. It was like ridiculous. Yeah, they were both horrible.
Here's the thing. There were some improvements. You know what I mean? Like when we actually saw Solis and Fortunis starting, I couldn't believe my eyes. You know, and Fortunis was again. First half Honduras looked fantastic. Today, Fortuny pulling the strings out of position.
He played two positions.
He
played two positions because Bakasetas played 0 positions.
And watching Pavlidis come deeper to press and to win the ball when Bakasetas was doing nothing. I mean, I'm getting sick. I'm getting sick of it. You know, you live and die as a coach. You do live and die by your decisions. And JVS is living and dying by his favorites. He has favorites. It's clear. There's 3 of them. I've seen it brought up before, and I agree wholeheartedly. He has 3 favorites. Limno, he has Costa. Limno, Bacaseta, and then Bakakis. Maybe Mavria. We'll throw Mavrias in there too. So
guys, unreal. Unreal.
And actually, this comment from George is 100% true. Solis was played out of position for 30 minutes. He's right. He's 100% right. What's you play so many players out of position, you have to expect you're only going to get 70 to 80% out of them on many of them. I've got nothing. I'm going to wait to see the data before I start to get too upset about certain things because I want to see more nuance. But
you don't need to read any data. We just watched. My eyes are in pain. Bakasetas is terrible.
Amber, you can swear on the live stream.
I know I can, but like, oh my! I just think of the children. I think of the children. They shouldn't be hearing me swearing, but Bakasetas is a nothing. Limnios, it is an insult to compare him to Lazar Angelovic, which I did. I'm sorry, Lazar. Limnios is such a nothing player. Zolis too. You PAOK fans calling him a wonder kid.
Limnios had the assist today.
Sitters. Solis is a nothing. I'm putting it out there. He did nothing. You know who is a wonder kid? That kid from Georgia is a real wonder kid. Solis is a nothing. Is he better than Lazar Angelovic? I don't know. You put Lazar on freaking PAOK and they're calling him a wonder kid. Like, you need to pump the brakes, people, because this is clown behavior, calling Solis a wonder kid, 20 million euros. The guy's worth like 10 million euros max. Good luck to Club Brugge, who's going to buy him. He's a nothing, too. So we need to pump the brakes. He's another Ninis 2.0. Rangelovic is a freaking wonder kid in PAOK. That's all I got to say about that. But just, it's shocking.
Can I ask a yes or no question? Like,
please,
just
go.
It's heated. That's great. But like, I'm not surprised, guys.
I'm not surprised either. But
I'm not. Are you surprised we didn't win that game? I'm not.
The thing I'm mad about.
I was saying.
The thing I'm mad about. Can I just say real quick? The thing I'm mad about is the people telling us like, you guys don't understand JVS. Did you watch the Spain game? Like, you don't get the project. Like, the frustrating thing is we're trying to tell you people this is not going to work, and we're being put aside like, you don't understand the project. I'm sorry. You don't understand the project. That's it. It's over. And you people are wrong. And you were optimistic for what? We told you Georgia did much better against Spain. And Georgia should have won tonight. Easily, Georgia should have won tonight. Just soak that in. Soak that in, people. Costa, please go ahead.
I was not surprised by the result today. The first 15 minutes, I was in the car and I was listening on the radio. And I think I texted you guys and I was like, is Bakasetas playing? It's been 15, 20 minutes. I haven't heard his name. And he's playing probably the most important role in the team. And I'm sorry that we're shitting on him all the time, but this team is leaderless. It's leaderless on the pitch. It's leaderless on the bench. Zagorakis has come in now. Thodori Zagoraki, you've got a fucking job to do, man. Good luck. I do agree with some of the comments that have been coming in on social media, like it is the players' fault as well. But it's the players' fault because the players aren't good enough. Because we're always going to be comparing to that old Ethniki team with the Karagunis, with the Yanakopoulos, with the Katsuranis, with Charisteas. You know, we're always going to be comparing them. Jolis transforms into a wonder kid against Lamy and Panetolikos. I don't want to comment on that. But Our best
I do,
players
yeah.
today, our best player today was Zavelas and Bakakis in the first half before he got injured. And I'm just going to have my little mini rant and get it over with. But, oh my God, you take Bakakis off and you put on Mavrias, who hasn't played for Ammonia since October. I swear to God, the Greek commentator must have said 4 times. Even the Greek commentator said 4 times. He hasn't played since October. He came to play at Tuba when Omonia played PAOK in the Europa League and he didn't play. It's like, how many times do you have to remind us that Mavrias hasn't played since October and you've got Androutsos on the bench, who's pretty much the starting right back at Olympiacos. And you need to stretch the field to try and attack, and you bring on Mavrias.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the first half, second half begins, and you bring Limnios on. And you take Jolis off. You need to keep Jolis on the pitch. He's one of the only players on the team that can run at defenders. He missed a sitter today, and he missed sitters in the friendly, but I would have rather kept him on the pitch. I'm sorry, but like I'm not going to talk about Bakasetas anymore. Whether I watched the game today or I didn't, it's like nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Yep. Costa, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. So at least, you know what? It wasn't coming off. So where I start to distinguish between whether, performance is not one. What is the intent? Is the player looking for the right things? Is the mentality there? Is he seeing the field correctly? And then it's the execution. So at least the ideas were there. He knew what he was supposed to do. He was watching the runs. He saw it's the execution that was off. I would have afforded him a little bit more time. But this is me personally. I would have afforded him a little bit more time, especially as one of the more talented players, to see if maybe something could happen, especially after the second half.
There's nothing better. There's nothing better, Adi. Like, as much as I just roasted Zolis for being a wonder kid of Larissa, there's nothing better. There is legit nothing better.
Exactly. And the context there is, if you had told me, oh, okay, Zolis is playing poorly, Limnios has to come on, I would have been like, nah, screw it. Keep Zolis on. Limnios has showed me nothing during the international break to say that he can actually do anything. So, and he hasn't played for his team. And so we get comments about, you guys have wanted JVS gone from the get-go. No, but there are things that really piss me off with JVS. One, because he lies. He's a lying piece of shit. He is. That's it. I'm saying it right there. Some of you may not believe the stuff that Socrates has said. I don't believe JVS. I don't believe Open TV. That's it. That's the end of the argument. 2, just another reason that he's full of shit. He claims that he only plays informed players. Limnios in form. Mavrias is in form. These guys haven't played. When he called up Stafilidis that played 2 games in a year for his club, he's in form. Sorry, he's full of shit. JVS is just full of shit. He is. I don't care what you think about his game planning, which is pretty much non-existent. He's full of shit. He is full of shit. Oh, he's building this team. He has a... What is he thinking? I know he coached in Australia for 4 years, but you can't play an inside winger without an overlapping wing back to keep the width. What tactic is that? What the hell is he doing? If you're going to play an out-and-out winger, then maybe, okay, I understand that. It made more sense when Limnios came on to keep a wing back that's not going to overlap much. You should have done that from the get-go. But in a game like this, where some service was there, we had service. You're playing a hold-up striker in Pavlidis? What are you doing? This was a game for Giakoumakis. And I understand, you know what? Pavlidis scored those 2 goals against Honduras. I get it. He probably rolled with the hot hand there. So I can understand that. But I've said this time and time and time again. Game script eludes JVS. He doesn't read what's happening on the field. He doesn't predict what's going to happen quite well. And he gets exposed. And don't think I didn't notice the crickets when Cyprus beat Slovenia, by the way. Slovenia, the world power. O-Block is better than an entire team's 11. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Cyprus just beat them. We couldn't do it over two legs. Are you serious? And I was pessimistic about this game for a reason. And we just saw it. We just saw it. Our goal came off of an own goal. So you guys realize in the 2 qualification matches, we had a fluke PK. It was a fluke. You know what? Some people say it was and it wasn't. Guys, that game was a fluke. Our only opportunity came off the PK. That game was a fluke. We were so lucky. That was it.
Guys, you know what's worse than Slovenia losing to Cyprus? Defensive powerhouse Moldova conceded 4 goals to Israel.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oleg, brother, I'm sorry. But
It's
what the dude, Nacho scored for them. Remember Nacho?
Tigres Nacho, yeah.
Dude, don't shit on Israel, man. They've got who was that guy? The PSV
Zahavi. Did Zahavi
Zahavi
like
also
20?
scored, to be fair.
Sure.
But guys, Israel, like if Israel can score 4 goals against Moldova, and we're like, oh, we worked very hard to get 2.
Wait, Peter,
JVS is in the
read this
press conference.
Read this comment real quick. This question from Costa_Sa. How come when they equalized, we didn't push K-Pap and Tavelas back and forth?
Because they can't run. They can't run.
This is part of the reason. This is why I say game script and game management eludes JVS. Why weren't we? Why weren't we? Were we playing for the draw again?
We should have been pushing right after we scored.
Exactly.
That defender's confidence must have been crushed after that.
We could have got 2 more. Can we score more than 2 goals in a game?
No, we can't.
Like,
Can't score more than 1.
If we play
since,
against fucking farmers
2017?
from Gibraltar, do we score more than 2 goals, guys? Let's
No.
let's genuinely ask this question.
No.
If we play like the fucking Vatican City or San Marino, do we score more than 2 goals?
Also, I
Seriously.
kind of want to say, people literally come June are going to be like, JVS is undefeated in 10 games. They're going to say it. They're going to say it because he draws consistently with these minnow teams. And people are like, well, JVS is undefeated in 10 games. And then just like not going to mention that we've drawn with Slovenia, Kosovo, and now Georgia. Just unreal. And the center backs, I said to Adi as well, and I was telling you guys, like, they're going to get exposed today. And when I said that, I meant because they didn't have 3 central defensive midfielders parking in front of them and not pushing up 15 meters past the goalkeeper. When you're that deep, it's not very difficult to defend as a central defender. Yes, there's going to be waves and waves, but you don't have to run. Papadopoulos just was just nothing. He has no legs left, and that's why he's playing in the worst team in Croatia. Okay, Kutakos, no. This kid was telling us trust in JVS like literally an hour and a half ago. Bro, no.
You know what? I mean, he realizes now.
He realizes.
Well, hold on. Here's the thing. So, look, it's not looking good now. But he can bring it back. I'm not a big fan of the carousel. If the next international break, he can bring it back, get a couple of results. And depending on how things go with Sweden, depending on how things go with Spain, and you're still in the running, you see what happens.
I disagree, Adi.
The knee-jerk reactions.
I disagree.
You need to beat Sweden twice.
Exactly, and that's the thing. That's why, regardless, I like giving campaigns. You know what I mean? Because we can judge him at the end. We can say,
but we gave him the
whatever.
Nations League. We gave him Nations League, and he failed.
And that was a failure.
epically.
Yeah, but remember the mentality
Zagorakis
was
is here
always
now. He needs
Project
to-
Qatar. But I guarantee you, if the next international break, there's not positive movement, he's gone. I can't see it being I would rather him finish it out. You know what? We don't make it. But I can see if something positive doesn't happen, he gets pushed out.
To be fair, like in a point for JVS staying at least till the end of the campaign, it's not like hiring someone now is going to save the campaign and get us in the World Cup. Like, I don't think there's a manager on planet Earth who could get us second and even getting second doesn't guarantee you getting in. So I would say, like, to be fair, if we give him like the rest of the campaign, like nothing worse than otherwise is going to happen. But like, I also have zero expectation that, like we said, unless he beats Sweden twice, which isn't going to happen. I don't expect anything.
Honestly, Zagorakis is here. He was at Tumba he was at Tumba, right? We have to say that. He watched that, and he's really not thinking in his head, it's time for me to call up one of these guys from 2004. This is time for me to call someone up, and this is time for me to call Manola. This is time for me to call up Socrati. Watching Tsavellas and Papadopoulos.
Papadopoulos, speaking of game script, I know we kind of mentioned this already. This guy gets paid to park the bus in Croatia for a living. Why is this guy playing balls? Like, we complained about like Cisse at club level playing long balls. Like, this guy, I would take Cisse playing long balls over Kyriakos playing long balls. And like, he just comes in with these like reckless tackles. Like, you keep doing that, you're going to get sent off, mate. What was that? Like, multiple times.
He's terrible. He's terrible. He's a nothing. And this is the thing. You people, the JVS supporters, whatever you want to call them, you disrespected Manolas, you disrespected Socrates, you disrespected Siovas, and what do you have now? What do you have? You have Kyriakos Papadopoulos and Tsavellas?
Well, the thing that scares me with Kyriakos Papadopoulos is like sometimes those forever slides, man. I told you guys before, you got to be, and we, almost bid it on that. He scares the crap out of me with that. He's always been one of those hero ball defenders, and that scared me. It scared me back when he played for Schalke, but it worked then. You got to be careful as you slow down and the physical part of your game starts to become lacking, which, remember, he had 2 nasty E injuries, if I remember correctly. You just have to be careful. That's the thing. And he scared me with that. We saw it today. I give a lot of shit to Tsavellas, but Tsavellas has outperformed my expectations of him. I'm not saying that I wouldn't rather have Manola or Socrati over him, but I'm just saying I expect like down here from Tsavella, and I've actually seen better than that. So I'm going to give props to him for that, as much as I make fun of him.
I guess, yeah.
But I want to say something about those two, because the situation being what it is, like, they've performed better than any of us can ask for them to perform. Right. Kyriakos, K-Pap is, for me, together with Mavrias, at fault on the equalizer. That's clear. I mean, the guy on the left wing, we knew he was the danger man. And he made Mavrias look like an absolute fool, cutting in from the left. And then K-Pap's reactions were just far too slow. And he banged that into the bottom corner. Some might say Odysseas might have done better, but I think it's the 2 defenders there that are more at fault than the keeper. There's one more thing that I've seen here on the screen. People talking about Giakoumakis, because there's been a lot of kind of, the guy's the top scorer in Europe and blah 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 blah. I did not expect Giakoumakis to replicate what he's doing at Venlo in the national team. Is no surprise to me, guys. I don't know what it is, and I've not seen the kid play for Venlo. But we do not have a centre forward. We had a centre forward. His name was Kostas Mitroglou. He hasn't been playing the last few years. We do not have a centre forward. How do you score goals if you do not have a centre forward? It's a big problem. The Vikas played in the friendly, was left out the squad. I don't know. Also, who are the leaders in that team?
Bakasetas, man. Bakasetas and Tsavellas are your captains. This
guy, the guy who's not even born in Greece.
He's a better leader than anyone.
He is. Zeka should be the leader.
He's the only one on that pitch.
Be the captain.
That I can see that raises his voice.
He should be. Look, it's frustrating. The whole thing is frustrating from the get-go. And I kind of want to bring up I saw some people, the comments were coming up of Giannoulis for Tsimikas, or play Giannoulis and Tsimikas. I think what we saw today, look, Giannulis he does well going forward. He had a couple of nice inner link ups and interplay situations with Fortuny, especially. I love those. When he went down to the end line, couple of nice cut-ins. He's great offensively, but the defensive part of his game still scares me. That has to be said. He's suspect on the defensive end of the ball. But at this point, guys, I'm not above Tsimikas left back, Giannulis left wing. I'm not above that. I want to see that experiment. I really do. I want to see them do that. I want to see him give it a shot.
Can we talk about Tsimikas, man of the match against Spain, and getting benched?
Well,
unreal.
Look, guys, it shouldn't surprise
is it even worth it? I don't even think we need to talk about it.
You know, Giannulis has always been first choice for JVS. The only reason Tsimikas has played is because Giannulis has been injured. We knew that. That's it. That's just it. And this is part of that thing. Now, I do want to address something because I've been seeing some exchanges on Twitter from Alki and this guy CA Chris Andre, and a couple of other people as well. And so I want to read the first tweet. Because the claim is that this isn't on the coach. This is one of the individuals that claim this isn't on the coach. It's on the player. And I'm going to find the initial. I need to find the initial post. So it was under
the initial
Lambo.
post was mine. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he said, it's not the coach, multiple coaches since 2014. Same story. It's the players, a fact that Greeks never seem to want to accept. Apart from Mavrias coming on, which I agree was dumb, there's nothing else that was a terrible selection. None of the changes made a difference. We've seen this a million times. Then there's disagreements, and he goes on to say, no, Greece were trying to force the issue early, but once Georgia started showing belief and dribbling at players, they caused havoc. Yes, the back line could have pushed up more, but that would only work with pressure on the ball from the midfield. High line without that is a disaster. Midfield was off pace. When in the final third, end product was terrible, regardless of subs. Can't keep blaming coaches. The coach isn't saying don't work to shut them down or sit back at home against Georgia. These things happen because of a lack of urgency. Blah, blah, blah. Bakasetas couldn't get in the game. Zeka was off pace. K-Pap had positional issues all game. None of that is on the coach. I am sorry. That is on the coach. Bakasetas couldn't get in the game. He hasn't gotten in the game ever. That's on him. That is on JVS 100%. He knows the type of player Bakasetas is. He's had over 800
guy
minutes.
who never gets in the game.
So I don't agree with this at all. I agree with, you can put some of this on the players. You know what I mean? Because the players do have to perform. The coach does put the theory, but when the theory is producing the same results over and over and over and over again, and there's no adjustment for it, and he keeps trying the same thing, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. That's what JVS is doing. So no, I put that on Bakasetas. Zeka was off pace. Guys, in the first 11 minutes, Zeka had closed down every midfielder and offensive player for Georgia. I bet you don't know that stat, do you? Yeah. Sorry, Zeka was not off pace. Zeka did his job for 90 minutes. Unbelievable. Masudas came on and was anonymous. Okay, well, I mean, guys, what do you think?
This guy's asking us about Kivichka. We've gotten a few comments. Was he the left winger? I think he was, the wonder kid from Lokomotiv. Listen, this kid is top. Zolis needs to, take notes and learn how a winger should play. Like, this kid is off to something. I'm gonna actually shoot a message to Hanu and ask him about this kid, because this kid is next level. He's next level. Even when someone's terrible like Mavrias, a lot of people don't have the skills to make him look as big of an idiot as he is. The Limnios of the world will just run at him and try a nutmeg and it won't work. But this guy, without touching the ball, his body just oh my God, he was fantastic. He was every time the ball, this may be a bad thing to say, every time the ball went down his side and you saw him running at Mavrias or Bakakis, I was like, okay, this is going to be enjoyable to watch, because it was just beautiful. His feet, he's good. Wouldn't be surprised if he was on his way to Dortmund. He's fantastic.
Yeah. Look, I don't know what else. There's nothing else I can tell you guys. I mean, it's disappointing. I mean, all I can do at this point is just kind of hope for something to change. I don't think it will. Unfortunately, we haven't seen anything change with JVS so far, but we did see him pull Bakasetas off at 70 minutes. So maybe that's a sign that he's realizing, hey, it took him over 600 minutes of watching Bakasetas play to realize this isn't the guy I need in situations like this. But I don't know. It's tough. I mean, I
think you're being overly optimistic about that.
Yeah. I am. I am. And you know what the worst part is? Like, I was pessimistic about this game. I thought for sure we were drawing this game today. I wasn't expecting a win. But even though I expected it and saw it, it still sucks because I have higher expectations for Greece. You know what I mean? Like we have all seen what we're capable of. We've seen beautiful play. Like when JVS first took over and that we had those games that like meant nothing. Galanopoulos was playing and the guys were actually playing nice against Italy. We've seen that. We know that's a possibility, but there's been a regression in thinking. Now, part of it is we don't have an 8. That has to be said. We play 6s. We're playing 2 DMs in every setup. And it's kind of ugly going forward like that. But there has to be proper adjustments made. And you can't be playing Bakasetas as a 10 all the time. This guy can't play anything but what's directly in front of him. We saw it again and again. Watch Fortunis, watch his head. I want everybody, if it's possible, if you have ESPN Plus, you can watch this game on record. Watch Fortunis's head every time the ball's he sees everything on the field. Those no-look crosses to the opposite end of the field, that's not luck. That's not any kind of magic. The guy just knows what's happening. Bakasetas is like this. He's got tunnel vision. He gets the ball and he has whatever's directly in front of him. That's what has to happen. Fortunis knows where everything is at all times.
There was a situation in the 30th minute where I think Fortunis switched the ball over from the right-hand side to the left and Giannoulis took it down really nice on the left.
I remember that.
And he went past the defender and he did the cutback. And the cutback fell to a player's left foot. And I was trying to remember who's the number 11. I think it was the number 11. And it was Bakasetas. It was Bakasetas on his, but I think his left foot is strong. And I'm just like, hit it.
One time.
He had space. He had space to hit it. And he didn't. He just like held on to the ball and then the play was over. Yeah, and that's literally the only thing I remember seeing in the entire game because I missed the Zolis chance at the beginning. I heard it on the radio. It was the only time in the game where we opened up space and we had a player in a position to shoot and he didn't shoot. And that's what he's good at doing. And he didn't do it. Stratos, my boy. How you doing, man? I went to uni with this guy. This guy, for me, we were talking to Petros Philippakos the other day about lost talents in Greece. This guy's one of them. Shout out my boy Strato. Watching Greece play football causes heavy depression.
It's true.
That's why I've got my Raki with me, Strato.
Kostas underscore Saab brought up an interesting point that we need 2 strikers for these games. The exact comment he made was 2 strikers for these games are necessary. We can never score. Well, Costa, the problem is JVS doesn't usually utilize a 2-striker system. Unfortunately, that's not something we see from him. I don't know if he'll ever employ like a 4-4-2. I don't think we have never seen him do it.
He's used 2 strikers before, Adi, but he just plays one of them out of position.
Well, exactly. That I was going to bring that up.
The PSV formation, wouldn't that work so well? Isn't that the best thing you could hope for here? And it's Madalos and Fortunis as the 2 attacking midfielders, the 4-2-2.
Well, so I'm very interested in that because I actually would love to see, given that we have a plethora of 10s, a plethora of 6s, I wouldn't mind giving the lone DM experiment a shot. Play Madalos and Fortunis together with a lone DM, Zeka or Siopis. Siopis, by the way, guys. Now, a lot of people have been blowing smoke up his ass, because he has rightfully had a great defensive performance, great off the ball, closing people down, but with the ball at his feet, he's average. So Siopis or Zeka is like the lone DM in that. You get some You get some support from a center back that can go forward, a wing back pinching in, or one of your midfielders. I would love to see that. I would love to see that dual attacking mid. At some point, we have to start playing in schemes that complement the talent that's available. I just running 2 DMs, double pivot 2 DMs is just not getting us anywhere. And unless we're going to blood Alexandropoulos quickly and make him a part of this team, we got to make some changes. Something has got to change.
There's even a simpler solution. It's right what Fetanos is saying. We have not done that since I can remember, playing a proper 10 and 2 wingers. Yep. And we did it in the last 15 minutes of the game.
Yep.
And you started to see something happening. Like Fortuny spreading the play out to the wingers coming in, and Limnios obviously isn't fit. He's not match fit. He's not sharp. And he couldn't give the end product. But we haven't done that. And I was screaming before the game, play Fortunis at the 10, put Masouras on for all his faults. He plays at a Champions League level. You could see in the Spain game in particular, the difference between our players, the ones that have played at the highest level this season, at Champions League level,
Turkey players,
how the game slows down. When they have the ball at their feet. Even Bouchalakis, who's not the fastest player on the pitch, because he's had that experience, he's played at that level. You see the difference. Why isn't Masouras starting in this team? I don't understand. What's going to happen when Mario Vrusai is fit? He's not going to play. Bakasetas is going to play. Fuck.
Guys, the problem with JVS, I don't think he understands that managing a country is different from managing a club. If you're managing a club and you want to have your one system, you can fucking go ahead and do that because you can sign players that fit your system. If he just wanted to play straight 4-2-3-1 or whatever the fuck he wants to do, and he could sign players to fill the positions that he needs, maybe that works. But in the national team, you don't get to choose. Well, you get to choose a little bit, but you don't get to choose what players you bring. If we just don't have strength at some positions, and you just have to use what you have. He doesn't understand that. He's so stubborn to move around. It's actually ridiculous to me. I don't understand it. You think this, I don't get where people get the idea. He's the Cruyff school of football, this tactical wizard.
They're idiots.
He literally knows one tactic. It doesn't even play it well and puts players in the wrong position.
This isn't even Cruyff's school of football. What an idiot. Who would say that? He's a Johan Cruyff book salesman. He's not a football coach. I'm just going to be honest.
Peter, can you bring up the Chuck Curdy comment again? I did want to read that because I did see people getting upset with Giacomakis. So Chuck just gave us a comment. I'm not going to be too critical of Giacomakis. He's getting 0 service. And yes, let's try Tsimikas and Giannoulis on the pitch at the same time. As for the Giacomakis thing, early on, we had service coming in. And that's when he would have been more effective. But we started a hold-up striker. We started Pavlidis. It made 0 sense. And you can't get upset with Giacomakis coming in when our foot's off the gas for some reason, drawing against a team this is a must-win situation. And we start to take our foot off the gas. I can't put any of that on Giacomakis. He needs to start in these types of games with a real number 10 behind him.
I also have to say, I think Chuck has actually seen Giacomakis play at club level a little bit.
Yes, he has.
Obviously, Costa's right. We don't expect a goal a game from him in Greece, but Pavlidis, who's just turns around immediately when he gets the ball, we need better than that if we're going to actually try to score goals against these teams. Giacomakis has his flaws, but he needs to be somewhere on the pitch. I know Costa has said, throw him on the wing. That would work better than just not having him on there at all for me.
Yeah, see, the thing is, Pavlidis would have been a nice start in the Spain game. Somebody against a team that possesses better than you and who's actually, Pavlidis presses pretty well, guys. So you need a guy that's good in hold up when you're playing against a team that's better than you in possession to help get things moving, because that builds confidence. I've played against teams myself where, first of all, they were way more talented than we were. passing the ball around for 30 minutes and we barely touched it. It is so important to have at least one or two guys when you actually have the ball that can get a couple passes going, because that does wonders for your confidence. Because one good link up, 3-4 passes, and you start to think, hey, guys, all right, hey, we just completed a few passes. We can do something. You get forward a little bit. You make your first opportunity. Hey, there's something. We can do this. But Bakasetas didn't offer that, and he offered nothing today either. So the player choices in the end, take tactics out of it. The player choices in the end are what are going to do JVS in. He's picking the wrong guys for the wrong situations.
I think we should just, like, we're on 40 minutes here, and this isn't a real episode. Like, we'll save them even more of this for tomorrow. Why don't we just go around and go? I'm going to be honest. I'm JVS out, and I want Zagorakis to bring in a new coach. I was clamoring for Donis to come. I think he's the guy who can handle egos very well, but I think he's off to the Middle East. So for me, JVS has to go tonight. I'm done. I'm so done with this. Like, I want him out. I don't know. I think I just can't see a world where this improves. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. Like, we're in a spot here. We took 2 draws. We got the result for Spain. Like, we can still build something here if he leaves tonight and we give it to June.
Ari said it earlier that he actually took Bakasetas off today on the 70th minute. That for him was probably like big. But the thing is, like, for me, you're right, Labro. If he's still the coach going into the next games, I know that Bakasetas is going to be on the pitch. I know that at right back he's going to call up Mavrias again. And it's just going to be the same. And I'm not expecting a revolution, but I'm expecting just logical choices. Like, he's the one that said, I'm going to be picking players that play for their clubs, players that are playing regularly. Like Fortunis, when he made that comment about Fortunis was on the bench at Olympiacos behind Valbuena, French international, played for France 58 times. Yeah. And he was a role player, not a bench player that wasn't playing. Mavrias hasn't played since October. Limnios hasn't played for months. That's all we're asking. We're not asking this Greece team to go to the semis or the quarterfinals of a big competition. We want this Greece team to be in the big competitions, to get to those group stages and do whatever we can. That's what we ask for. And what we want is the coach to make logical choices and to be consistent. Not consistent like picking Bakasetas every time, but be consistent in what you're saying. If you're saying I'm going to pick the players that play, then play them.
Like, open TV and Gran Menos propaganda has got to end tonight. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, this bullshit has to end tonight. Like, if Zagorakis is going to change Greek football, he needs to finish the Gran Menos regime and finish JVS. That's my opinion. It needs to be ended tonight. Like, this bullshit of freaking JVS going on open TV to announce all this bullshit about Siovas and Manolas. It needs to end tonight. JVS has nothing left. It has to end tonight. I'm done. I'm done. He needs to go tonight. Zagorakis, if he's going to change Greek football, which is bullshit, he's not changing shit for me. He ends JVS tonight. That's my opinion.
Yeah, guys, the thing that really does it for me, that like makes me just not really want to give him any more time, is the off-field shit, to be honest with you. Because he literally has not told the truth. Like, the shit with Socrates and Manolas and Siovas, disgusting. I'm sorry. Like, you can do whatever you want, but be honest with your fans. Don't go on PAOK FC TV and make your statements ridiculous. Like, Costa already explained it better than I could. Mavrias is a joke. To say the things you say, then pick Mavrias. To say, oh, inform, and pick Limnios, who thinks he can get past Sergio Ramos, who doesn't play in Germany. What form? He's not in any form. He doesn't play. Ridiculous. I can't with him anymore. The Fortunis Bakasetas is one thing. Like, we know we want Fortunis in the 10. Bakasetas plays there. But the more ridiculous part is the bullshit and the lies and the stupid shit he says when he goes on open TV and just spits crap out of his mouth. I'm so tired of hearing that. Can we get a manager who actually like knows a thing or two about the culture in Greece, knows how to handle players that play for rival clubs, knows how to talk to fans, knows not to go on fucking any TV. I'm not saying I want a manager who's going to go on Mega after the game either. Like, just a manager who's not a fucking donut that can like get Greeks to actually care about Greek football, because nobody in Greece cares, because they all know it's fucking horseshit. It's all just propaganda. And I don't want a manager who's going to be like, oh, Fortunis plays no matter what. Masouras plays no matter what. Like, I'm going to go on Mega and say this, because no one's going to fucking take that shit either. It's so stupid. Like,
this is so. How do you know this so well and you're not even Greek? How do you
bring this guy from fucking Australia who's never known anything about Greece in his life? And like, Greece is such a unique cult, or at least it's unique from like a lot of the football world. Like, in the sense of like, everything you do is fucking analyzed. You can't just be like, oh, open TV, they seem like some good chaps, I'll go on and give them an interview. No, you don't fucking do that in Greece. Like, this guy's a moron. He doesn't understand how it works. He hasn't learned anything either. He does this in the friendlies. We do interesting things in the friendlies, and he's like, oh, that was cool. Okay, never going to try it again. What the fuck is the point? Like, I get so encouraged by stuff we see in the friendlies sometimes, and then he just never does it again and does the same stupid formation with the same shit players. I'm done. He's got to go.
This has to be Stel. That has to be Stel that said that. Get 10
shout out Stel.
Shout out to Stel. Always makes sense.
But can I just say that, like, everything Peter just said, just like, for someone not Greek, who, and especially the people who live in Greece who understand this bullshit with the politics and the TV shows, like, Peter understands this than so many people who watch this football team. Like, JVS will never go anywhere because of this bullshit he's been pulling, and it's over now. It's over, people. And if this is going to be saved, guys, it's already. I don't know if it can be saved. Zagorakis needs to pull the plug, and he needs to find someone like Donis. I've been saying Donis, I don't know if he's going to come because he's in Saudi Arabia taking good money. But you need someone who's coached here. You need someone who understands this politics. And you need someone who knows the players. Is it that difficult? Is it that difficult? It's difficult. It's difficult for me to understand. But I don't know. I would love to go research into some new coaches. I think Peter's damn right, everyone. He's extremely right.
I guess I'm the only one that hasn't gone yet for JVS out or not, right?
So I'm JVS out. Peter?
JVS out.
Costa?
Out. So 3 of us are JVS out. And it's nice saying this too. For me, I'm no longer on the fence. Like, I was on the fence going into this game. He's done.
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready for JVS out. Next international break, if I see nothing and we go now 2 rounds of games, still Valverde. I would, if Valverde coached the Greek national team.
Valverde.
Oh God, that would be amazing. Would never happen. I don't know why he would waste his time.
Also, this
he's
he knows the game. He knows the goddamn game.
Everyone's killing me here. I saw someone earlier bring up Bajevic too. I forgot who that was. You guys are killing me.
That's a demotion for Bajevic. It has to be said, right? Bosnia, like, probably higher up on the ladder than us right now.
He's coaching Bosnia now.
Yep. Well, actually, I think he's no longer coaching Bosnia now, right?
Oh, yeah?
They kicked him out.
Did they really?
Yeah, because he didn't qualify for like 2 tournaments in a row either. But I have to wait. So if, for me, like right now, look, whether it was luck or not, we got a result against Spain. Second part, okay, we screwed the pooch here. We expected 3 points. We got 2. Right now, it's not the end of the world. If we get shitty results in the upcoming fixtures in the fall, I'm done. And that's what I'm going to say. Get out. You've had your time. Enough's enough. I'm not ready for JVS out yet. I want to see if he finally has fucking learned his lesson in the next round of qualifiers, or the next set of games, I should say.
How many chances are we going to give him, Adi? Like, this is the first time I'm going to push back on you. How many chances?
Guys, I think I'm going to change the subject if that's okay.
Can I add one thing? Like, since we're live and since people are listening, when we talked to Vasilis Sabrakos a few months ago, in the lead up to the elections for the Greek Football Federation, we broached on this subject of what's going on with the call-ups, why aren't Socrates and Manolas being called into the team, what's going on. And I was quite shocked at what Sabrakos told us, and he had absolutely no qualms, like directly telling us that John Van Schip gets a piece of paper from the Greek Football Federation president and says, this is who you're going to call up. And these guys, you're not going to call them up because I don't like them, because I think they've got a bad attitude. John Van Schip doesn't know the history. He just does what he's told. So the only hope is, going to Ari's point, that Zagorakis might go and pull this guy's ear and say, look, mate, we're going to do things a little bit differently now. Play those that deserve to play. No more of this old school Greek politics. You're going to pick the best players, and that's the only chance that JVS has. Let's see. But for me, it's done. Just to be clear, for me, it's done. It's over. I don't see a way back for him. But I think it's interesting to say live what Sabrakos told us a few months ago. And Vasilis Sabrakos is a serious journalist.
Yeah.
Guys, should we make the announcement, Costa?
Yeah, let's cheer everyone up.
Yeah, we'll say this and then we'll probably sign off fairly soon. But Costa, I'll let you lead in with the announcement. And this is not an April Fool's joke, by the way.
This is not April Fool's.
Well, yeah, I suppose the last bit of news before we go. We brought to you Peter Philippakos, former Olympiakos player, the only Greek American to play for the club. That is a fantastic interview, by the way. If you haven't caught it, you can check it out on YouTube, on all our social media channels, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc., etc., etc. It's a long one, but the content is really, really rich. Some amazing stories. This guy, you could literally make a documentary about him. Funny stories about being famous in Athens, about the girls in Greece. Please, it's probably one of the best interviews we've done to date. Now, we've already got another good interview lined up with a former player. He still plays football today. He's still an active professional footballer. I suppose the only other clue I can give, if you guys don't mind, he doesn't play in Greece anymore, but he played for the club. And there are going to be more tweets and hints and spicy things coming up on our social media in the coming days. So watch this space, guys.
We know everybody hates the Greek, non-Greek first hint, so we made it a little bit more interesting. Even though I love watching everybody.
Guys,
squirm,
it's been guessed already.
Favorite.
The player is Stefanos Safi. No, I'm just kidding.
Give us a position. We're not giving you guys anything.
That'll be a hit. You got the hit.
Future. So yeah, give us guesses. Michael Essien. Oh my God, that would be an interview for the
Michael
years.
I would ask him about the nightclub next to Panathinaikos, which he used to go to.
Wait, is he still playing? Is he still in Azerbaijan or whatever?
There's no way.
No.
Who knows? That's for another time. It's not Michael Essien. But
we've got. But send guesses to us on Twitter. One guess per day, people, because we get people like go to Wikipedia and Google Olympiakos list of players.
Who's Mila Ross?
I think that's Kevin.
Miralas?
Yeah, I think that's Kevin Morales. It's not Kevin Morales.
Anyway, guys,
Essien is coaching in Denmark. So Essien, I guess, is no longer an active player. He was playing last season, though, in like Azerbaijan, I think. But I guess he's done now.
Good.
Anyway, that basically wraps us up. So people, you're cheered up. Gate 7 International is bringing you another player interview. Get those guesses in. Get excited, Olympiakos is back on Sunday. We're going to destroy Ike.
Yes.
I'm calling it now.
Finally, mate. I can't be asked.
El Arabi hat trick.
No more national team for like 6 months, guys.
When is the next national team game? Oh, sorry, I don't care.
What I said last year too. So
terrible. And guys, there's some big stuff coming. We have a lot of content cooking. Some news will be coming out relatively soon, but your support has been amazing. I mean, guys, Lambro, Peter, and I never thought for a second anything would get to this point. At any point, we never thought we'd get hundreds of listeners, let alone ever get to a point where we're like, oh my God, over 1,000 people care about what's being said here, what the content we're producing. So first of all, obviously, we have to keep pushing for the next thing. We're still pushing for the next thing. And we have some announcements coming out. We're growing. Stuff is happening. We hope you enjoy it. A lot of good stuff coming and going to continue to come. Keep an eye out. And thank you guys again for the support. If you don't follow us already, please do so. Subscribe on YouTube. The bigger we get, the bigger community that we can foster, the more of this that we can do. And guys, more boozing with the boys to come. We love that. We love interfacing with you. We love talking to you. So the bigger we get, the more of those we can do, the more interactions, the more shit we can do overall. So thanks again. Thank you everybody for tuning in all the time and for your lovely support. We love you guys.
Also, I agree with everything Adi said, but also shout out to Stel, our good friend Stel, who came on the podcast a while ago. Shoot the Defense podcast is great. And also, if you are an Omonia supporter now, guys, Omonia, they don't play Mavrias. So if that gives you an idea of the type of club they are, Mavrias doesn't play for them. He's probably on his way out as well, from what I've heard from Stel. So give Stel's page a look. I think it's the No Shoftes podcast. They talk about Omonia over there. Yeah. They get tons of cool guests as well, former Omonia players, all sorts of big players over there. So big up, Stel. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you, everybody else. Roy Carroll. That's a shout, to be fair. That would be fun. That'd be a fun.
That would be fun.
It's on the list.
It's on the list.
You heard
anyway,
it,
guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. We'll be back Friday morning with an episode. And until then, see you soon.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed?